It's a new day. It's a new day.
What's up with it, family? What's the damn deal, man? This is JuniorTheTruth, and this is indeed the Punch Junkie Podcast, man. Brought to you by the Punch Junkie. What you thought it was, man? Shout out to the family, man. Salute. Thank you all so much, man, for taking the time to tune in. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate it. Salute to my brother Shawnee on the track. Let's go, Shawnee. New day. New day. It's a new. Y'all better be glad I can't sing. Y'all better be glad I can't sing. New day. New day. It's a new. What's up with it, man? Yeah, get in there, Shawnee. New day. Man, that feels good. It's a new King Vonnie 86. What's up with you, baby? New day, new day. It's a new. Man, shout out to the family, man. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to tune in. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate it, man. If I had a million tongues, I couldn't tell it all, man. Shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den boxing community, man. Yes, I am indeed, man, your guy, JuniorTheTruth, man. Thank you all so much once again for taking the time to tune in, man, to the Punch Junkie Podcast, man. You can follow me everywhere via social media. I can be found with the handle JuniorTheTruth. That's JuniorTheTruth, and that's over all the social media platforms, man, each and every one. And I want to officially welcome you here, man. This is the home of the last place in the world for real fans of the sweet science, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. And we're just going to get straight to it. Today's topic, this one might ruffle some feathers. In fact, I'm like 99.99999985432 sure that we're gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, man. Like we're gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, man. But you know, the fact of the matter is that it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is there's what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we gonna do? Let me see if I can I do this? I don't think I can do that. Can I do that? Boom. Okay. Something's going awry with this. Okay, my fault, family. Y'all know I'm a stickler. I'm a stickler for this streaming, man. I'm a stickler. Salute to everybody that's tuning in via the YouTube, Twitch, and Kick live streams. Shout out to everybody that's listening to the actual podcast, man. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate you all. G5 Gay, what's good with you, family? Salute to you. What's up with my player partner from the D, G5? What's up with you, bro? Anthony Bolden, what's happening with you, family? So I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. I'm 99.9% sure that I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, but it's cool, man. And we're talking about the legends are disconnected from the sport of boxing, man. There's a gap between our boxing legends of the past and the fighters that are lacing them up today. And that gap is hurting the game. It's hurting the sport of boxing. And if you want to bicker on that, then come on, let's bicker. But there is a gap between the legends, and there's a gap between the legends and those who are actively lacing them up and fighting right now. And that is hurting the sport of boxing from top to bottom. Shout out to the Punch Junkie magazine, everybody that shows love to the Punch Junkie magazine, man. Y'all can still go get the Punch Junkie digital magazine, the last issue, and be on the lookout for the latest issue dropping soon, man. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate it. Now, I'm gonna say this: the inspiration, it's a long line of these little tiffs and rifts that I've seen between legends, retired boxers, and the current fighters, but the nudge was given to me with this whole Claressa Shields versus Laila Ali banter. I've been inspired to talk about this since that banter. You know what I mean? And this isn't just this ain't about gossip. You know what I'm saying? This is about unity and the growth in the sport of boxing and actually bringing that sense of community to the sport. So let's go on and be real. So the fact of the matter is, man, and this is just like, if we can be real about anything, we can be real about this. There has always been tension between the fighters of the past and the current fighters. Like, we can be real about that. Like, there's always been that tension. Always. And there's always going to be that tension. Like, there's always, fighters are going to always feel like there's you know, their era was better. They're gonna always feel like people, you know, couldn't walk a mile in their shoes. You know, people wouldn't be able to handle the rigors of what they dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Like, their era was the best era, and so on and so forth. There's gonna always be that, right? Like, I get that. I get that. That's normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing no tripping over fighters feeling like, you know, their era was different. That's normal. But boxing is a little bit different because we've gotten away from passing the torch. You feel me? Like, we've gotten away from officially passing the torch. Like other sports, there's a passing of the torch in football. There's a passing of the torch in basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a passing of the torch. Like, you have legends who, you know, still go to games and sit courtside. You have legends who come back and retired players who come back and support their respective franchises. Like, it's a beautiful thing to see the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? And you go see um uh uh Reggie Miller, you know what I'm saying, and his affinity for and his embracing the current Pacer players, and you're seeing Steven Jackson, and you know what I mean, Jalen Rose, and these folks, these former Indiana Pacers coming up and showing up and literally supporting the current Pacer players. You understand? It's a beautiful thing when you see, and you still see Bill Russell, you know what I mean, come and sit on the sidelines at the games. When the Knicks were on their run, it's a beautiful thing when I'm looking and I see John Starks, you know what I mean, Stephon Marbury, and Larry Johnson and Charles Oakley before they start throwing him out the arena. Like, it's a beautiful thing to see those players there to support the Knicks, because there's this passing of the torch and there's this appreciation for the modern players, and there's the respect and appreciation for the players that have come before. But like in boxing, we got guys who then did their thing, ran their bag up, made their money, did what they did with their careers, and they not trying to pass the torch. They trying to snuff the torch out. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. They trying to snuff it out. You know what I mean? You got legends of the sport of boxing, all-time greats, like unfairly criticizing today's champions. A lot of times in public, on public forums, a lot of times harshly. I think I just said it was a lot of times it's unjustly as well. And they do that, and that's their first, interaction, instead of embracing these kids, embracing the fighters. You know what I mean? And it's, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect? You feel me? Like, what do you expect? And the thing is, for me, we need that connection. We need connection. Like, I don't need your first and initial criticism, because boxing is so small that your initial criticism should come from directly to a fighter. You understand what I'm saying? Like, boxing is so small that these legends, you can get somebody on the phone. You feel me? Floyd, who not gonna pick up the phone for Floyd Mayweather? What boxer, modern boxer right now, is not gonna pick up the phone for Floyd Mayweather? What boxer is not gonna pick up the phone for Roy Jones? What modern boxer is not gonna pick up the phone for Mike Tyson? You feel me? Who's not gonna pick up the phone for Lennox Lewis? But instead, and I know we're in this modern era, and we have all of these independent media outlets, and we have people doing interviews, and people, and I'll tell you, I'm gonna tell you, the modern media and independent media and mainstream media as well, like, they have gotten very crafty at asking questions to evoke an emotional response from fighters. Like, they've gotten really, really, really crafty at that. They've gotten really good at it. They've gotten really good at putting a mic in people's faces and getting a soundbite that they can resonate, and they can take, and they can blow up, and it could get, taken out of context, and blah, 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 blah. And then you get that soundbite, and then you put a mean thumbnail with it. You see what I'm saying? And then you put a mean catchphrase with it, and then you got something. But at the end of the day, though, I believe that, once again, boxing is just too small. You know what I mean? It is entirely too small. It's tightly knit, that these dudes can really truly get on one accord with one another. And I would love to see this carried out differently, because, once again, boxing is too small. It's too fragmented to have this divide. You know what I mean? Example is the Shields versus Ali, the verbal attacks, and going back and forth, you know what I mean, with one another. And Laila, having done what she did with her career, and having been one of, like, let's be clear, one of the pioneers for women's boxing to reach the level that it is right now. Laila Ali, having these, like, the first, like, how is the first, like, your first response? How is the first response criticism? How is the first response something negative? You understand what I'm saying? Just because Claressa is doing what it is that she does, that doesn't take away from what you've done. You feel me? And then from there you have it. But then, on the other hand, because a lot of people will try to paint it up like, oh, Claressa's out of control, and she just don't respect the elders and don't respect the people that came before, and so on and so forth. And then I'll say, well, did you see that Ann Wolf walked her out? Ann Wolf walked her out to the ring in her last fight. Ann Wolf supports her. Ann Wolf actually shared a post on social media, something to the the effect of, hold on one second. Because I actually shared it, because I'm weird like that. But it was because, this Claressa Shields hatred is it's at an all-time high. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. But Ann Wolf said, Claressa Shields asked me to come to her fight. I went in the ring, gave her a hug, and told her I was proud of her. Her and her team treated my family and me very well. Respect is given two ways. It's her time to shine. Salute the big Dez Kunky Doll. I see you. What's up with it, man? What's up with it, my Hard Nation Sports Podcast? I see you, family. What's up? Nah, man, and Wolf has a relationship, you feel me, with Claressa. And this is not me pointing out, I'm not pointing out blame in either way. You know what I'm saying? This is not a blame, because I feel like the legends be on some bullshit, and I also feel like the modern fighters be on the current fighters be on some other stuff too. They be on some BS too. But this is just an example. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas we see before, the past errors respected the lineage of boxing more open. You understand what I'm saying? Like Sugar Ray Leonard backed Oscar De La Hoya. George Foreman supported Evander Holyfield. Like, these dudes openly loved on each other, and they openly had a strong regard for the people that paved the way before them. Respect is two ways. It's two ways. Another tiff that we saw in not so distant history was the Mike Tyson having a criticism of Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and that was his first. That was like initial. That's your initial. That is your initial reaction. You feel me? Not congratulating him as being the first American heavyweight champ that we've had in years. You feel me? In a whole generation. But congratulating him from actually bringing the titles back to a part of the heavyweight titles back to America. Not that, but it's to criticize him and say, "Oh, he only does this, he only does that." Like, nah, like that can't be the initial. That can't be the initial. Well, it can be, but you have to understand when it is the initial. When it is the initial reaction, that you're going to get a reaction, and thus it's going to not be a positive interaction. And that's just how the game goes. But that back and forth, you know what I mean? And it's just not. I don't like it, man. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Like, I'm trying to talk in a way that where I'm being sensible, but I don't like it. Mahari Nation says Laila Ali is a hypocrite. She is the same woman who ducked Ann Wolf. She needs to sit down somewhere with the foolishness. And she ducked Ann Wolf, and now, I mean, hell, she's ducking Claressa Shields. if we doing that. But in my opinion, like I said, this disconnect between the legends of the sport and the current fighters, it comes at a cost. And one of the consequences is fans. It's easier for fans to be divided. You feel me? So instead of growing the fan base, debates become toxic. When is the last time you heard a boxing debate that didn't turn toxic? You feel me? When is the last time you've heard this boxing fan and that boxing fan have a debate that did not turn toxic? Anthony Bowden, what's up with you, homie? I can't tell you the last time I heard a boxing debate that didn't get derailed from facts. Like, when you see these boxing debates and you hear these boxing debates, the debaters stay on facts for a very minimal amount of time. And then after that, they totally 100% get on bullshit. Personal attacks. You know what I mean? Personality. Is very rarely conversation about what's going on in that square circle. You feel me? But once again, fans get divided. Boxing is already a very tribal sport. You know what I mean? And then the old versus the new arguments overshadow the fights. And I do it myself, where I start talking about the old era of the sport of boxing and the way boxing used to go, because in modern times, the modern landscape of the sport of boxing is different. Don't get me wrong. There are some modern fighters who, a lot of them happen to be some of my favorite fighters, who are still under the old law, and they are still here trying to fight the best and make the best fights and to actually prove that they're the best. But then there are a lot of other fighters who are here just, to want to be a part of big events, make big fights, and then move on. Salute to my brother Kano Loco TV. What's up with you, bro? But I think that, when it's all said and done, like there's a bigger divide as a result of the consequences of this disconnection. Also, fighters and the modern boxers, they miss out on mentorship. And that is a big, big thing for me, man. Do you know how many fighters' careers would go totally different if they had the appropriate amount of mentorship? If they had the appropriate mentor? Do you understand what Adrian Broner would have been if Floyd Mayweather actually mentored him appropriately, man? Laila D, what's up with you, Laila? Salute to you. King Vonnie already spoke to you. What's up with you, though, King Vonnie? The guy, what's up with you, bro? Salute to you. Do you understand what Floyd, the influence that Floyd Money Mayweather would have had on Adrian Broner's career if he appropriately mentored him? Do you understand what Zab Judah would have been with the appropriate mentor, with the appropriate world champion, legend, mentor? You feel me? Do you understand what come on, bro. Do you understand what Floyd Money Mayweather would have been with the proper mentor? Like, man, like Adrian Broner with a proper mentor, if the legends of the sport had got behind him and literally mentored him, instead of watching him crash and burn and criticize him and talking about his career ain't shit and he ain't did this, yeah, he a 4-division world champion, but who did he beat, and criticizing him, if they actually got behind him and literally backed him, because look what he was able to accomplish without it. Do you understand what Terrence Bud Crawford would be if he had the appropriate mentorship from Floyd, from Roy? If they literally got behind him, like, you the one, bro. This is your era, you the one. And they really got behind him. And look at what he's done without it. Do you understand who Arrow the Truth Spence would be if he had been appropriately mentored? Instead of arguing and going back and forth with Roy Jones Jr. Imagine if Roy went to his camp, talked to him, and mentored him. Like, all y'all be talking that stuff about Jared Anderson and the conversation that Jared Anderson, I'm getting upset now, that Jared Anderson had with Roy Jones Jr. That's mentorship. Roy Jones Jr. was able to speak to something in Jared Anderson that nobody else could speak to. Can't nobody else speak to that. That ain't done it. That ain't been it. You understand what I'm saying? People sit around and laugh and giggle and talk about it and, oh, he a chump and he this and he that, bro. Have you ever been chosen for anything? Have you ever been the chosen one? Have you ever been the one that got to break generational curses over your family? Have you ever been the one? When you the one, somebody can come that's been through that and they can speak to something in you that can't nobody else speak to. Most people don't understand it. But that is if Roy Jones Jr. was constantly in that space doing that thing, I'm telling you, American boxing would be in a totally different place. I understand the hiccup with Roy Jones and the American amateur boxing stuff and all of that. I get it. You know what I mean? I understand that there's some things that, you know, have gone on with regard to relationships being severed and stuff. And that's why you see Roy Jones with dual leadership and working with Eastern European fighters and all that. Like, I get it. But ultimately, I'm speaking to the fact that these fighters who are out here trying to figure out their way, you understand what I'm saying, without the appropriate amount of mentorship. All of these legends that hate on Devin Haney, right? Because he came up different, because he didn't fall victim to a lot of the circumstances that they fell victim to, right? Imagine if they literally got behind him. Like, Shane was right there. Imagine, and Shane is the most recent one. Imagine if Shane Mosley literally got behind Devin Haney instead of hating on him, like really pushed his career. Another person who truly misses the mark is Oscar De La Hoya, bro. And he's an actual promoter. Imagine if you not just a promoter, but if you and you know the promoter thing gets jaded because fundamentally promoters don't always have the best interests of the fighters at hand. Promoters are businessmen, and the initial thing is to the initial thing is to make money. You understand what I'm saying? So I get it. But Oscar has a tremendous opportunity in working with fighters and actually being a mentor instead of being a clown. You feel me? Instead of like that stuff, and I'm not gonna lie to you, right? That Berlanga throwing money and the thongs and dance for me, bitch, and all that, talking to Oscar De La Hoya shows you where we are. Contrary to what anybody thinks, contrary to what anybody feels, Oscar De La Hoya is a legend in the sport of boxing. Oscar De La Hoya paved a lot of, made a way and opened a lot of doors for a lot of fighters within the sport of boxing. Not just Mexican Americans, not just Mexican, not just Latinos. A lot of fighters walked through doors that were opened by Oscar De La Hoya. A lot of our favorite fighters walked through doors that were opened by Oscar De La Hoya. That's the truth. I know it's I know. I know. I know. A lot of people ain't feeling that. I know. But it's the truth. And if we're gonna get to anything in here, we're gonna get to the truth. Yeah. So I'm looking at I'm looking at it like, yeah, man, it's a cold game. Like it's a cold game. And ultimately the sport suffers. Like I look at myself, right? So like having played, do you understand what I look like criticizing these football players now who got the NIL deal? Salute to my brother 503 Lion. What's up with you, bro? Y'all be sure to go subscribe to my brother 503 Lion. Hard hitter sports and entertainment. Like what I look like criticizing football players now. You understand what I'm saying? Bro, I'm 20 some odd years removed from playing, not even 30 years removed from playing sport. You feel me? Like it looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. How somebody that's 20 years someone senior could feel good criticizing them in a public forum. Like that's weird, man. It's weird. These fighters miss out on the opportunities to have mentorship, man. Without the guidance from the legends, the young fighters, man, repeat mistakes, bad contracts, bad matchups, bad management, money mismanagement, all types of stuff. And then at the end of the day, the sport suffered. There's not a unified front. You know what I mean? The boxing continues to lose cultural ground to the other sports. You know what I mean? Other sports become more popular. Do you understand the space that boxing is in the sport of in America? Y'all understand the space that the sport of boxing is right now? Y'all do understand how it's not good. You understand? Like it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, man. And then you look at it, for example, like you look at UFC, and they bring their legends back cage side, man. They use them in commentary. They use them to do commentary. They have different shows featuring them, different podcasts, and it builds unity like within the MMA community. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have a whole bunch of just ridiculous, just miscellaneous people just finding their way into the sport, finding their way into the sport of MMA and just, you know, getting a foothold. Nah, man. Not even. So, all right, I came up with a list of reasons why I feel like legends need to support the current generation. You understand what I'm saying? Number one is preserving the sports legacy. Like a lot of these fighters don't know, like you've heard Tank Davis, who's another one. Imagine if Tank was appropriately mentored body legends. Lord have mercy, he needs mentorship. But you heard like Tank, and you hear these fighters, these modern fighters, they have absolutely no idea about the lineage of the sport. They have no idea about the fighters before them. They've never watched certain fighters. They can say, oh, I never watched Marvelous Marvin Hagler and so on and so forth. You know why that is? It's because they have not had a mentor who sat down with them and watched. You feel me? That mentorship is not there. And that mentorship is what preserves the legacy of the sport. As a defensive end, I had Sean Gilbert, defensive lineman for the Carolina Panthers, sit me down and watch film with me and tell me who I should be watching. Based on my game, like, nah, you need to watch such and such. One of them in particular was Langford from Florida State. The defensive end from Florida State, Langford. You need to watch him. You feel me? Nah, bro, go watch Derrick Thomas in college. Go watch this. Go watch that. And so now when I talk to people, you know what I mean, and you know, especially defensive linemen, you know, there was so many little nuggets I got from him, things to do. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Simple stuff like, man, what them feet do. I've worked with defensive linemen in the past, you know what I'm saying, and I've worked with young kids who are defensive linemen, and you know they want to get buff and they want to be strong and they want to do this and they want to hit hard, you know. And the first thing I do is give them a jump rope. What them feet do. You know why? Because I had a legend sit me down and ask me what them feet do and give me a jump rope. You feel me? Now what them feet do. Legends passing the history forward keeps boxing heritage alive, man. And when we have boxing heritage alive, is we can always go back and resort, because that's the foundation. So we can go back to the foundation. But there are those of us, Kano, you feel me? There are those of us who are standing on the legacy of the sport, and everybody's looking at us like we crazy. Like, we standing on the history. We standing on the legacy of the sport, which is why the last podcast I can sit here and tell you that I can't give Alexander Usyk the nod of an all-time great heavyweight over all of these at least 10 other dudes who I think is better based on their resume versus his. Because I'm standing on the legacy of the sport of boxing. I'm standing on the history. I'm standing on the numbers. I'm standing on what people literally did in the ring. Number two is inspiring the next generation. You understand what I'm saying? Legends' public support inspires fighters and fans. Have you ever seen a fighter light up? Like, if somebody's talking to him and they give them a nod. Have you ever see how fighters light up? Similar to the NBA TV. This is why I love NBA TV, right? So a lot of times, Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, Chuck, they'll be sitting there and they'll be, after the game, they'll get an opportunity to interview one of the players, right? And so Shaq will say, Shaq is always the one. Shaq always gives it up. Hey, man, this is Shaq. Can you hear me? Yeah, man, I just wanted to let you know, man, I love watching you play. You've just really come a long way. You've done this, that. You're just a one, man. I'm really proud of you, man. I'm really proud of you. Do you see how the players light up when Shaq say that to them? You understand? Like, do you see how man, now I'm going to speak for myself. Like, I come from as far as football, my high school, we had some dudes that really produced. We had dudes who went on to the NFL and so on and so forth. And then we had old heads that, you know, I knew, but they went off to college, they D1, you know, so on and so forth. A lot of them didn't, but they were still old heads. They was around. I know who they are. They went to school with my older cousins and stuff. And, you know, I know who they are. And when I tell you that when I would come out on the field and I look over there and all the old heads is right there, man, they do something to you. You feel me? Like, and I'm the one warm up or whatever. Then I go over to the old heads. They smacking me all on my helmet, like, let's go. You know, like, that do something to me. That do something to me. Same thing in basketball. Or when one of them that's a legend, you know what I mean, and come up and say, nah, you a horse, it's your time. Nah, that's gonna do something to you. I can only speak for the shit I've been through. That's gonna do something to you. You feel me? That's gonna do something to you. Yeah, that's gonna do something to you. Also, the opportunity for sharing experience and wisdom. I got to get out of here. Sharing wisdom, sharing experience and wisdom. You feel me? The legends are in the position to be able to share experience and wisdom and ultimately empower these next fighters, contracts, training, promoters. You know, legends that been through it all. They can advise fighters on what to avoid. They can advise fighters on what they wish, the things that they wish they would have known. Number 4 is building confidence and resilience. Public violation from the legends builds public validation from the legends, it builds mental toughness in the young champs. That's kind of a repeat of what we said before, but it's the yeah. Some of the most powerful images we've seen. Remember Tank Davis getting a knockout and Floyd on the sideline, losing his hat, celebrating. You feel me? Running up, grabbing Tank and hugging him. Remember when Rasheed Warren won his title, and not that AB was his mentor, but AD opened the door for Rasheed Warren. Remember Rasheed Warren winning his title and AB jumping in the ring and grabbing him and jumping on him and rolling around on the ground and them crying and celebrating. Robert Easter Jr. winning his fight, and AB was more of a mentor for Robert Easter Jr. And Robert and AB celebrating. You feel me? And hugging Robert Easter Jr.'s mama and his family. And yeah, man, like that's man, it's an incredible thing when fighters are mentored. Ensuring the sport's growth, legends hyping up big fights brings casual fans back in, regardless of what we know, what we think. When legends get hyped for a fight and they start talking up fights instead of talking down fights or talking down fighters or talking down eras, man, it helps tremendously. You feel me? It helps tremendously. Tyson and Holyfield sitting ringside at the Wilder Fury fight was dope. You feel me? Dope. Also, it bridges the generational gap. And I think that, once again, boxing is a microcosm of life. We see this same thing within the generations. You know what I mean? We see the same thing within the generations of just life in general. You know what I mean? It's a huge generational gap. You feel me? And we see our communities, because the world needs more community. Period. Number 7 is the personal fulfillment for retired champs. Staying active in the sports gives legends purpose beyond the things that they're doing now. Staying active, just staying around it, being useful. Like, that's what you want in the world. You want to be useful. You need to be useful. Forming strong networks and the community bonds, of course. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, man, but like Florida fighters or I won't even say Florida. I won't even do it state. I'll do it with countries. Like the American champions should be forming a bond and a network for people to come to them with what they need. And the last one, man, and this is a big one, but do you understand that when you mentor others and you give them game and you give others news that they can use, do you understand that you are cementing your own legacy? Like, you are cementing your own legacy. You feel me? Legends who uplift, they're going to be remembered longer and better. You feel me? Like, you cement your own legacy. I heard Michael Irvin talk about it when they was talking about bringing his number back. I think it was 88, bringing 88 back from being retired for one of the players for the Dallas Cowboys could wear it or something like that. And he was saying, yeah. And people was like, man, you crazy, you know? Or was it Miami? It might've been Miami. I think it was University of Miami. But anyway, and he's like, no, bring it back and let him wear it. Nah, because every time he makes a play, They're going to say he looks like Michael Irvin. And I'm going to live. It's going to further cement my legacy. When you mentor fighters and they come out and, they thank you, or, they're seeing with you, or they're giving you your props, or they come out and they pay a tribute to you, or do something, similar to something you've done in the past, and yada, 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 yada. You are cementing your own legacy, period. Man, the game of boxing is better when it's unified, man. That's just it. You know what I mean? Right now, boxing is so vulnerable because it is not unified, man. It is so very much fragmented. You know what I mean? And I want the legends to stop tearing down the fighters that come behind you. And I want the new fighters to stop being so sensitive and stop being afraid to reach out and ask questions and invite the OGs in, because it's a two-way street. Like, respect is a two-way street. You feel me? When you see these fighters, don't just be looking at them like, oh, that's such and such. Like, nah, go over, introduce yourself. You feel me? You be surprised who you be surprised who know who you are. And I'm saying that from me. Like, I'm saying that from me. You know what I mean? I done went up to people before at these events, just, speaking casually or whatever the case may be, and they'll say something like, oh, Punch Junkie, I see you. Or they'll be like, oh, how born player made. You feel me? Like, you be surprised who know you. And I'm not comparing myself to the modern boxers and none of that. What I'm saying is, don't be afraid to go break the ice and go have these conversations. Because we need a unity. Like, we need to bridge that gap. Because, like I said, boxing is extremely vulnerable. With that gap is so far split. It's too much money, too much culture, too much legacy on the line for us to stay divided within the sport of boxing, man. Period. Man, here, at the Punch Junkie, here at the Punch Junkie brand, man, we stand on this. Boxing is a community. The fighters, promoters, fans, trainers, legends, and all media, we all play a role. And I'm seriously, like, I'm here to denounce division for the sake of ego. You know what I mean? And I'm calling for unity to protect, elevate, and enhance the sweet science, man. If we don't protect it, nobody will. Do you understand that? If we literally this stuff that we say we love, if we don't protect this, ain't nobody gonna do it. Like, if we don't protect the sport of boxing, nobody's gonna do it. You feel me? That's why we have to be so, we've let them run wild with the pay-per-views and things that they've done, and the matchups and the fights, and fighters refusing to fight big fights, and people being elevated, and us being told who to cheer for, and us being told who's the best. Like, we're being told who the best is without them even having to prove it. They don't even have the desire to prove it. Like, boxing is in a very, very weird, strange, and peculiar place. And ultimately, it's on us to protect it, period, point blank. But I can definitely say this, that there is a tremendous bridge, a gap between the legends of the sport and the current champions and fighters, and that needs to be mended. That gap needs to be bridged. We need more community within the sport of boxing. Thank y'all so much, man, for taking the time to tune in. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate it. You have absolutely no idea. If I had a million tongues, I couldn't tell it all, man. Salute to everybody that shows love to the Black Gentleman Grooming Company. We do have a line of all natural handcrafted grooming products specifically with you in mind. So be sure to come check us out, www.theblackgent.com. Be sure to come over to punchjunkie.com. That's all things Punch Junkie, www.punchjunkie.com. That'll get you everywhere, man. We got a lot of exciting news and things coming down the pipeline, man. Can't wait. But really, truly, genuinely appreciate you all. Those of y'all who want to support the stream, as you see, the live stream is you can't super chat. You can support the stream at money sign the Punch Junkie, money sign the money sign. I don't even know the name of the money sign. Is that Amsterdam? Is that what it's called? Or is Amsterdam something else? I don't know. Money sign the Punch Junkie over on the Cash App, man. Thank you all so much. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate y'all. This is JuniorTheTruth signing off, giving you a daily reminder to view your life like a paradise. Until your life looks like a paradise, man. I'm a high-born player, man. If you don't know anything else about me at the end of the day, I got to keep pushing, baby.
We offer the best grooming products for you. Dress on natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger. Style, class, and luxury. We make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger. Style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. The black gentleman, yeah. Company, give you swagger. Style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.